So this is part 2 of the video where I'm explaining how Google Chrome update or release process is like. Earlier, we have understood a high level of how this process is like. There is an automatic update software or a framework called Google Software Update, which at regular intervals check for an update by triggering the Chrome server. And if there is an update, it creates a patch and then download it and then install it at users machine, and it all happens in background silently. Now and Yeah, so this is all about Google Software Update. If you want to learn more, I'm going to put that link in the video description. Now we have understood that. I talked about how to, if you happen to, or if you want to create something like something similar, or want to understand how do even this software update system work like. I mean, how does it look like, how does it work like. So in code wise, so we are going to create something similar, not something similar, so not that complex. We are going to create a system or a file where which triggers something at regular interval, and yeah, and all of this happens in background silently. So if we understand that, we touch all this background triggering something silently and doing something, we manage to do all those three things, we'll understand how this software update framework might have been created, right? So I am really sorry, since I cannot demonstrate this for Windows. For Mac OS I can show something similar. So it happens using two things: launch demons and launch demons and launch agents. So there is a difference between launch demons and launch agents. The difference between launch demons and launch agents is that launch demons, whatever is registered or whatever comes under this launch demons umbrella, is for a global or for system wide thing, right? For agents it is user specific. It runs when that user is logged in that machine. Okay, now let's go and see and take reference from this okay, reference from this thing. How do we identify where this launch demons and agents are on our system? From the finder, go to the computers, click on this Macintosh HD. From here, click on the libraries. Now from here, search if you find launch demons or launch agents. Now click on the launch agents or demons, any of those. Now I have clicked on launch demons. Now if you see, you will see this com.google.updater.wake.system.plist. plist is a property list file. It is a configuration file that tells about how it is going to trigger what, how it is going to interact with the launch pad. Okay, launched of Mac OS, right? So if we open it and we see what is in there, so if we see that here it is a XML file. Okay, and it has some elements, and we can read more about that from this documentation. Okay, so there are some things. If we want to create a launch daemon of our own, we would have to follow this whatever is written here. There are this layout we have to follow first, and there are some required keys. For example, this label is required, this program arguments is required, and other things are optional. So there are different types of launch daemons are, but we are going to go and create the one that fits perfectly with this use case, triggering something at regular interval. Okay, so what we are going to go what I have done is, I have done is I have created a this so first thing that you have to go, if you go and see again in the finder, there is a naming convention for this: com.google.google the name dot plist. Okay, so we are going to go and create something similar inside any of your folder. So what I can do, I can go to my this and go to I've created a folder called explore auto updating. If it is not reflecting, sorry, it must be reflecting now. So here you can see, okay, I am inside. I've created a folder. You can create this folder anywhere in your system called Explore Auto Updating. And here I have some files. I've created a file called com.youtube.launchd.demo.plist. Okay, you can name it like this, com.youtube. Whatever the name you want to name. Okay, and then here I am doing what? I'm defining few things, like first the label is required. So label will be the we go here. Okay, so label is a unique string that identifies your daemon to launched, which is required. Program arguments is the set of arguments to launch your daemon, how you are going to launch this daemon, or the command that you might need to launch this daemon is specified as string under this key called program arguments. Okay, now these two are required. One more key is required called start interval. Now the start interval is like at what interval do you want, at what regular interval you want your daemon to be triggered, right? I have, and you need to specify it in seconds. So I have specified it in seconds, like so Google has specified it in 3600, which is like 60 minutes. Sorry, 60 minutes, which is like 1 hour. Okay, so if you are going to go and create something similar, I'll simply close it, and I'm going to create a file called com.youtube.launchd.demo.plist. I've already done that. What I've done is I have created a key called label, and here I am doing this. Again, I do this so that it is visible. So here I have defined a label and the name of the launch daemon, then program arguments, and then defining how it is going to trigger something. So but before that, what I did is I have created a file called run.php. Okay, and inside this run.php I'm writing some very easy thing called echo. It is generating a random number called rand number, and showing the date and time when it is doing that. Okay, and a new line. Simple. Let me show it here. This is how the file is looking. So here if I go and run this php run.php, this is what it is going to run. Fine. Okay, this is what it is going to run. And if I want to run it, let's say php, if I want to run like which php, it will show me the exact path of this php. So if I run this run.php, it will run it. Okay, now I need to run because this launched is going to run globally. So I and here I am relative, right? So I need to know the exact path. So I know the exact part of this directory? Yes. So if instead of this, can I do this? If I do this, I'm going to create. So this is basically running a php file run.php using this php version. Okay, this is that command. Okay, so inside our program arguments, what we are going to do, we are simply going to tell, okay, use this php and then run this php file. Okay, then I am telling, okay, run this every 5 seconds using start interval key. Okay, now I want to show something, like I want to do what, I want to output the result in a file called output.log. Since I did it already, I'm going to delete it and delete it. Okay, so I'm going to output this in a file called output.log, and output this standard error. If it is going to get any error, it should output that in the file called error.log inside this directory. Okay, now let's run this daemon. In order to run this daemon, what we need to do, we need to simply go and load this daemon inside launch launched ctl. Okay, so what we are going to do, what you have to do actually is, we have created the plist file, defined all the settings, have set up this completely. Now we are going to launch it using launchctl load and the name of your file. Okay, so I'm just going to copy it and then uh, run it. Okay, now if I go and wait for 5 seconds. Okay, I did you see, it has created, I deleted those files, it has created two files, error.log and output.log. If I go, it is creating, outputting the whatever it is triggering and outputting the result in the output.log file. If I open it again, yeah, after every 5 seconds it is outputting, triggering and outputting. So at every regular interval, which is 5 seconds in our case, it is triggering something and doing or an action which is outputting it in the log file. Okay, now the other thing that I have, for example, if I make a mistake, let's say I make a mistake of doing something like this, which is like a syntax error, is it going to populate something here? Let's say, okay, see, now error dot log also is now being populated. Okay, so this is how you can create something like this Google software update system on your for your project. Like, this is what we have created right now is very basic, but we wanted to understand how it might have been created, how it triggers or how it triggers the Google update server, sorry, Chrome update server. So we have created something similar. Okay, now if you go and open it again, you will seem to understand it better. It is triggering this Google updater, which is located here, application support, Google updater, and setting all these options, and this at every once in every hour. Okay, so this is how it triggers and asks for update and other information. Okay, now in coming video we are going to understand what all information it sends, and what all information it sends, and how Google update server replies, and how Google update server takes care of releasing the changes and creating patches and all. So yes, so